What's up, guys? HTG Brian back with more Funko Fusion. Next up, we got Battlestar Galactica, Level 4, Ovian and Out. Fun play! That's right, we're going to get all of those collectibles scattered throughout, including a 50,000 vinyl crown. That's right, that tube is going to cost us a lot of cheese. And on top of that, we're actually going to need more monies because we're going to have to mold a few items. But more importantly, this is the first and only level we have ran into that actually requires us to purchase a red proto weapon. So it's important to know that before you can complete this level 100%, you will have needed to complete either Back to the Future for the Mind Melter, or Five Nights at Freddy's for the Phaser Blaster. Both of those are capable of lighting up a laser pad, and it just so happens we need to use number 5 for his teleport ability, which gets us into a secret room that requires us to power up a laser pad so that we can use a security camera. If you know something we don't, drop us a comment, let us know, and maybe others will follow. But we're going to go ahead and recommend that you have completed one of those 2 bonus cameo levels in order to have the items needed. All right, here we are officially in the spawn area where we're going to go ahead and smash and grab a bunch of vinyl so we can get our stack on. Once you flip the switch, be ready to be attacked. We got lucky on this particular run, and there only seemed to be 2 baddies here. In a previous scouting run, we actually saw as many as like 7 or 8 baddies, so be ready to get your fight on. As soon as you've cleared the room, go ahead and activate the chest in the back, which happens to be a Destroy All Baddies. Again, I recommend taking out the initial bad guys before starting this particular chest because it's going to make things quite overwhelming, even if you did clear out all the other guys. All right, we've officially irradiated the baddies. We're going to flip open this chest. We'll be back for that vinyl in a second, but let's go ahead and collect our first of 7 silver crowns. Woo to the hoo! All right, we got that done. Next up, we're going to go ahead and shoot and grab a few more vinyl before making our way back over to this blue mold machine and molding ourselves a sentry turret. This is going to be like our best friend throughout this level because we're going to carry it through pretty much to the entirety and ending of it. We're going to move it down here and drop it real quick so we can power up this laser pad and drop it into the room. I should say turf it into the room because it's going to go ahead and help us take out some more bad guys waiting for us. Our goal here is to get into this next room where we can use the sentry turret on that big time laser pad on the back wall and rescue our little robotic dog Muffet. While we're waiting for that to pump it up, let's go ahead and flip open a chest in the corner. I can't stress enough, there is going to be a big need for vinyl throughout this level. By the time we get done, we have way more than enough, but make sure you crack open all of those brown chests and take out all of those items along the way to get as much as possible. All right, move into this 3-way intersection here and drop it right in front of the flames. And we'll go ahead and shoot some boxes, revealing a wheel spot. The wheel happens to be right behind it on the other side of the pipe. And place it and spin it to go ahead and put out the fire. Now, in this next room, there's going to be a bunch of bad guys, including a red orb baddie. So be ready for a big attack again, and once the room is clear, we're going to go ahead and recommend you grab that red orb and take it and deliver it to our spawn point where there should be a red mold machine waiting for us. This red orb will give us part 4 of 5 for the Ray-Volver proto weapon. Now, it is possible that that one could actually power up a laser pad as well, but seeing as we do not have it yet, we did not have that information to test it. We tested quite a few of the red weapons, and it turns out only 2 of them that we had were functional for laser pads, and that was the Mind Melter from Back to the Future and the Phaser Blaster from FNAF, which is the one we're actually going to use. All right, clearing out the room, grabbing some more vinyl. Let's make our way back into this sort of playtime room. And over in the far left corner as we enter is going to be the first of 10 helmets. That's right, pilot helmets, that is. After a quick Google image search, we revealed that it was the Viper pilot helmet, I do believe is the proper term, and reference to the original Battlestar Galactica show. Now, if you played the story, you probably remember shooting this laser pad on the wall is going to go ahead and move this little device with the red crystal, pushing it further down this little choo-choo train line. And the goal is to get all 3 of those powered up. Once they are, let's go ahead and flip the switch that we now have access to, which will open a door into a new room, and you'll likely be greeted by some bad guys. Now, the goal here is to make our way inside and rescue Boxy, I believe is his name. And inside there should be, somewhere between 3 and 10 bad guys, depending on the severity of them. Sometimes there's a blue shield guy. Sometimes there's a bunch of Cylons and these other little ant-like creatures. I think they're the Ovians. I may have that wrong, but essentially the goal is to get in there, clear it out, and rescue Ovian. Now, over in the far left corner as you enter the room behind some bunk beds is going to be the Foxxo body part. Let's make sure we swoop that up, as well as the brown chest across the room from it. All right, so we've officially made it to that unique point of the level where we're going to need to switch on over to number 5 and also purchase a red proto weapon. So let's make our way back into the activity room, use the character swap box to swap over to number 5 from the Umbrella Academy, and make our way back into that room where there is conveniently a red proto machine. It's back in the far right corner, or left corner, I guess, depending on where you're looking. And we have options. We can choose the Mind Melter for 5,000 or the Phaser Blaster for 5,000. As we already mentioned, we're going to go ahead and choose the Phaser Blaster just because you get a little more bang for your buck. At least I think you did, ammo-wise. And now we've officially got it in our arsenal. You can see we've got 70 shots. We'll go ahead and step on the old arrows here and teleport our way into the room, switch over to our recently purchased weapon, power up the laser pad, and quickly make our way back out using the other teleport spot. Using this carry camera, we'll flip the switch on, which actually puts out the fire and reveals the silver chest that is now available to pick up. So we'll go ahead and crack that open and pick up the silver crown, and now we're back out, and we're going to swap back over to our favorite 5-star laser-wielding character, which happens to be Starbuck. So although there's probably been some spots where those red proto weapons could help out and get us by without swapping characters or whatever, it's the first time we've actually ran into one that required it, which was kind of crazy. All right, feel free to pick up the heart in the back corner there before moving along and taking out the second of 10 pilot helmets. And just because, we're going to go ahead and use this switch here and power down the force field, allowing us back out into the main hallway where we're going to grab our sentry turret again and place it right in front of this door to allow it to go ahead and pump up that laser pad. Before moving along, it's important to grab number 3 and number 4 pilot helmets, which happen to be in the hallway and inside the room on our far right. There's also a bunch of vinyl in here, including a brown chest, so make sure you get a bunch of that before moving on. Back out in the hallway, we'll see that our sentry turret has put this gold Cylon on pause as he cannot overcome the relentless shooting of our turret, which basically prevented him from getting anywhere closer to us. We'll go ahead and give him the old pew 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 cha cha cha, take him down, and now the coast should be clear out there. So let's grab our sentry turret and move a little bit further down the hallway, placing it somewhere in this vicinity while we go ahead and drop it and run into the rescue room where we can deploy both of our 2 rescuees in tow. Now over in the far right corner is going to be number 5 of the pilot helmet, so make sure you pop that off. And on the opposite corner, we're going to find a bunch of boxes. Take those out, wait for them to deteriorate, and behind them should be the amber fossils. Let's grab that up. Now back to the sentry turret, as we're going to need it yet again. It's also been super helpful taking out some of the bad guys, or at least slowing them down. We come to this corner here, and there happens to be a regular laser pad, so the sentry turret won't help us out there, but our laser in our pocket will. So we'll go ahead and shoot that. But before we do, let's make note of the pilot helmet at the end of the hallway that you would probably accidentally shoot while taking out these bad guys that are going to pop out from the smoke. All right, so we've got 6 of the 10 helmets done. We'll go ahead and advance a little bit further. Now, this was kind of a funny situation. Apparently, it's very cold on the ship because we got a blue shield baddie hanging out in the fire. Go ahead and shoot him till his shield has depleted and do a ground pound to take him out in one swoop. All right, let's grab our turret and bring it down to the end of the hallway and let it do its work to open this door over here, which is going to give us access to a character swap box, a wheel, and some more things too, including a silver chest. So the swap box is going to be handy as we're going to need the help of Childs. So let's go ahead and hop in and switch on over to our only flame-throwing wielding character, which happens to be Childs from The Thing. And you can see right in this little cubby hole here, we've got a silver chest with a red lock on it. Get your melt on and eventually go ahead and crack open the chest and grab silver crown number 3. Now, just because, we're going to switch right back on over to Starbuck, which I missed the opportunity to do the quick swap. So back in we go, and there he is. Now up above, we're going to find ourselves a wheel. Grab that by shooting it and place it into the next hallway over here, or the next room in the hallway, that is. And that'll give us the ability to go ahead and turn on the water and put out another fire. There's a lot of fire going on here. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and pump up this vinyl tube crown with 50,000. That's right, it's a lot. And you can see we still got a lot. We got 33K right now because we've been destroying everything. And got lucky, too, with a red orb in one of the boxes. Now, I got a little stuck here. The blue shield baddie comes out, and I was not able to place it in the room like I had hoped. But I'll get up close and personal, take out the shield, do a ground pound for the win, and we got a couple more bad guys in there. Now, I definitely recommend using the environment as much as possible because a lot of these guys shoot those like ink bombs, but there's also like a explodey bomb one too. So once the room is clear, we're going to actually go straight across into the next hallway over here. But not before grabbing this brown chest and some more vinyl. We are still working towards that 5 million as well, so that's important to note as we move on into this next room with the laser pad that drops a red crystal. Although we need that, we actually need to do a little trickery here. I recommend backing up to the force field and shooting this laser pad while continuing to walk backwards because it only opens the force field for about 1 second, maybe 2, and it makes it a little difficult to get through. So we're going to repeat this process by just simply shooting and dodging or dashing our way through. If you can duck, dodge, dash, or something. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it. But you know what I'm saying. Make your way quickly back out and drop this red crystal into place. And this gets a little tricky. I got really lucky with the first shot, but I couldn't seem to replicate it. So definitely use both the strafing left and right and also your movement or aim left and right. So you can kind of get a little extra precision by once you find a decent place and you're close, try moving your aim versus your character, if that makes sense, and you should have no problem powering up both of those pads. And then last but not least, you got to shoot the one up top that's going to move the claw and save our buddy. So now we've got another one of our rescuees. And before moving on, let's go ahead and pop the 7th of 10 helmets in the corner there. Now we can go ahead and advance and shoot this next laser pad, which powers up another door and gives us access into a giant room where there should be anywhere from 5 to 10 baddies. Now, one of these baddies is not like the rest as he takes a ton of damage and also hops from the lower floor to the upper floor and back and forth. It's pretty crazy. If you get lucky, you might be able to pin him in the corner and give him the old cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, but unfortunately for us, it doesn't work out that way, at least not right away. There's a couple others in here scattered around. I think we got those dealt with. And then he kind of gets stuck over here in this corner. So hopefully the same will apply to you. As you can see, his text goes from white to orange to red. And eventually he is dead. Now, before moving on and going up the stairs, let's go ahead and shoot a bunch of debris under the staircase here, which is actually going to reveal the 8th helmet. So let's pop that and move all the way up top, paying attention to the switches as we go. One of them's right by the door on the right side as you come in, or left as we're looking at it now. One is on the stairs towards the bottom. Another one is up at the top by the doorway. And the fourth and final one is all the way at the end. Now, at the very end of this walkway, there's a bunch of boxes and a gold crate. We're going to need to come back with He-Man to reveal the green Protopart. Once you're ready, go ahead and get your stamina built up. If you got a 5-star speed character, you should have no problem doing this. I take out the first 2 up top, and then I make my way down the stairs. Kind of get stuck on a few things, so you can see there's a little room for error here. And down by the doorway, after hitting that one on the lower staircase, should be all 4. So now we can make our way back up top and collect the silver crown that should be just chilling on the ground. Wait, which way do I go? Which way do I go? After picking up the crown, we're actually going to go through that doorway where we're going to find a helmet as well as a blue mold machine. Now, technically, you don't need to mold yourself a bounce pad, but it will come in handy down below. But before you do so, let's go ahead and shoot these boxes and reveal the 9th pilot helmet. So we're getting pretty close there. Now, as I just mentioned, this is not necessity, but it will help out. If you're maybe not really good at the jump and dashing, this will make the next step really easy. So go ahead and drop down below and place it right next to the old purple chest. Pop it open, and it's going to give us a yellow square laser crystal. Now, this is what I mean. You don't necessarily need the bounce pad, but it's really close. You can easily dash off that, and if you're having troubles, I definitely recommend using the bounce pad. Shoot the lower one through the crystal, and the other 3 are just simply hit it with your laser gun. So Starbuck gets the job done, and that's it. We've got the other 2 rescuees with us. Now we got to return them back to the old flag there. So let's go ahead and make our way back, destroying anything and everything along our path, just because we are still way short of the 5 million trophy achievement. Now, if the characters get stuck, make sure you move your sentry turret so they can actually have free access to the hallway there. And we're all the way back in here. Now, it's important to make sure that once you rescue both of these guys, you grab the fun key. Full disclosure, in my first attempt at recording this level, I actually ran off without grabbing the fun key. And then I switched to He-Man, which is our next task at that character swap box at the end of this next hallway. And I made it all the way to the end before I realized, wait a minute, I don't have the fun key. And instead of swapping back to Starbuck and making a clean edit, I ran back and grabbed the fun key with He-Man, which I try not to have those types of scenarios where I have to explain what's going on screen rather than showing you and explaining. All right, so if you've been following along, you probably remember we got to run up to the top of the stairs here. And at the far end, right up above us to the right side of the screen right now, is going to be that gold crate. We're going to smash it down with our He-Man-like powers and then collect the green Protopart and take it to a green proto machine, which is actually right below us right now. So not a far journey, which makes this real easy peasy, but you're going to need somebody to break some gold easy. All right, I'll see myself out. Sorry about that. All right. We got it done, Now we'll open it up, grab that proto orb, and take it right down to deliver it to safety. You can see there's a little exclamation point. They're pretty good about putting these parts or these, well, the parts next to the machines. Make sure you do a dash right before you hit the ground to prevent you from taking any damage and dropping the thing. And before making your way out, let's go ahead and crack open this chest and grab some more vinyl. All right, now it's time to use the old fun key that we got for rescuing all 4 of our friends. If you didn't pick it up, make sure you make your way back to the rescue room and grab that off the ground. And otherwise, let's go ahead and spin to win and take a little detour down these stairs here and work our way towards the hangar bay. Once we get into the room, we'll take a hard right, find that someone's been hoarding the chicken. That's right, we got a KFC bucket chilling. And diagonally across the room, we're going to find the 10th and final pilot helmet. Now, also make note that there is a purple chest there that gives us a security key to take us to a cameo character moment. We'll be back for those very shortly as we plan on doing each character quest individually in its own video. It just made more sense for us to jump around and complete those together, so we'll see how those turn out. Make sure you grab the silver crown for those collectibles, and that's going to wrap it up for this level, which really only leaves us 1 level if you've been following along in our pathway, which is pretty exciting. We're in that home stretch, as we like to call it, for the fun play. But all collectibles collected, and that's going to go ahead and take us back to the factory where we can reset and get ready to take on the final fun play level. So we'll go ahead and switch back to Starbuck because we love his speed and his lasers, and the lasers seem to be pretty dominant in these levels. And there it is, the final room. We'll be back for that real soon. But hey guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for me. If you liked this video or found it useful, don't forget to click that like button and maybe share it with your friends. And don't forget to check us out on social media and, of course, HappyThumbsGaming.com. We'd love to see you support the channel by purchasing some merch, and we got HTGmerch.com. All the links for that can be found in the video description, so check it out. As for me, that's going to do it for now. As always, until next time.